The 1998 Belgian Grand Prix has to be one of the most memorable F1 races of all time. I remember watching this race as an 8-year-old kid and I'll never forget it. If you're still not sure what race I'm talking about, you've probably seen this before.
Look at Fielder, and into the wall. Who was that?
Coulthard in the wall.
David Coulthard into the wall. They'll stop the race.
They'll have to red flag this.
Terrible. Look, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
Now you're probably like, oh yeah, I do remember this race. Because who hasn't seen that massive pileup? I think a lot of people who are not even F1 fans have seen that. So let's continue to rewind the tape and go back to the very beginning of this race. Race day was very wet and miserable. Despite the heavy rain, it was decided that the race would start as scheduled without a safety car, unlike the previous season's race. At the start, pole sitter Mika Häkkinen led from a very fast starting Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, and Giancarlo Fisichella. But all hell was about to break loose behind them. David Coulthard suddenly emerged from the spray completely sideways, as when he got on the throttle he hit a metal grill in the track for drainage and launched his car sideways into the inside wall. This would cause a massive 13-car pileup. Only 2 drivers behind Coulthard managed to get through unscathed. Ralf Schumacher in the Jordan, who actually you can see him stop, and Esteban Turo's Minardi. This would obviously result in the race being stopped. It took them roughly an hour or so to clean up the track. F1's rules at the time stated that if a race is stopped within the first 2 laps, it would be null and void and they would completely restart the race. Therefore, all the drivers involved in the incident were eligible to take part in the restart of the race. Unfortunately though, for 3 teams, they had both their cars damaged in this wreck, and at this time F1 teams only had 1 spare car available, so this meant Mika Salo, Ricardo Rosset, and Oliver Panis would not be able to restart the race, as their cars were given to their teammates. In total, 4 drivers did not take the second start, as Rubens Barrichello kind of suffered some minor injuries. When the race finally restarted, the carnage did not stop there, as there was another incident in turn 1, but this time it involved Mika Häkkinen.
Leads! Damon Hill gets ahead of everybody at last source. Schumacher going round the outside.
And Häkkinen is spun.
Spinning Häkkinen. Schumacher hit Häkkinen. And Herbert has hit Häkkinen. Now, I can't.
Unfortunately for Mika Häkkinen, who is the current Formula 1 points leader, his Grand Prix has come to an end. This left the door wide open for Michael Schumacher to capitalize on Mika's misfortune. Damon Hill and his Jordan would take the early lead of the Grand Prix, ahead of the 2 Ferraris and Eddie Irvine and Michael Schumacher. Schumacher made quick work of his Ferrari teammate and moved into the 2nd spot, and began his chase of Damon Hill. Unfortunately, David Coulthard would find himself in trouble again with Alexander Wurz, but he would keep the engine running and he would continue in the Grand Prix. By lap 7, Michael Schumacher was right on Damon Hill. It seemed inevitable that the flying Ferrari would get past him, and that's exactly what Michael did going into the final chicane on the track. Michael would take the lead and it would look like he would just cruise away to a victory. However, that would definitely not be the case, as conditions would continue to get worse. Unfortunately, Eddie Irvine would be the next victim of the weather. He was running in 3rd place and went off track and got the front wing of his car stuck underneath. This would take him out of contention. By lap 24, Michael Schumacher was some 40 seconds ahead of Damon Hill in 2nd place, as he was catching a struggling David Coulthard. Another unforgettable moment from this race was about to happen. The Ferrari team went down to the McLaren pit and asked David to move out of the way. Unfortunately, he would slow down right in the racing line. Unable to see clearly, Michael Schumacher plows right into the back of him, completely tearing off the front suspension. And Michael impressively got that car back to the pits, but his race was done. David went into the pits too, and when Michael got out of that car, he was absolutely furious. He stormed down pit road to confront David Coulthard. This is something that you really never see in F1 anymore. This is more of a NASCAR thing. And the two had a heated exchange in the garage. 2 laps later, almost the exact same incident happened when Giancarlo Fisichella's Benetton smashed into the back of Shinji Nakano's Minardi. This time, it would bring out a safety car. After the Schumacher incident, it would put the Jordan team 1st and 2nd. Eddie Jordan gave Ralf Schumacher strict team orders to not pass Damon Hill. This was to ensure the team would successfully finish 1st and 2nd.
Into the bus stop. He is yards from the finish, followed by his teammate Ralf Schumacher. And Damon Hill wins in Belgium. Fantastic! Schumacher second, and Lacey third.
Damon Hill would score his 22nd and final F1 career victory, and the Jordan team would score their first victories, getting a sweep of the top 2 positions. The Jordan team still kind of lives on today and is currently the Aston Martin F1 team. It's been bought and sold a couple times between then, but Aston Martin is a reminiscence of this team. This race will forever be etched in my mind as one of the most memorable F1 Grand Prix. As I said earlier in the video, I remember watching it live as an 8-year-old. Let me know down in the comments below what your most memorable F1 Grand Prix is. This concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more great motorsports content. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. I also have a Redbubble shop linked in the description below, where I have some motorsports stickers and t-shirts for sale, including some F1 stuff, and I'm always adding more. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.